Hello, thank you so much once again for joining us today. Welcome back to the CYPER show. I am your host, Ngarambe Lawrence. And today, just like any other beautiful day, we're thankful to God that we are here, present and alive and healthy, and God continues to bless us with a new day and a brand new day. So today I'm going to be introducing to you an incredible guest. She is a model, a singer-songwriter, and a Canadian Nigerian. And she's going to be telling us more about her life and just how motivated she is. And I love her so much. JoJoHh, welcome to the CYPER show.
Thanks for having me.
I can't believe you make me nervous. I don't know if it's because of how fabulous you look or I don't know.
I'm nervous watching you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You look amazing. Can you tell us where you got your dress from?
I'm actually wearing a sheer couture. She's a Canadian Irish Nigerian designer, and she's based in Toronto. And I love supporting Black businesses, and she's incredible. I love her work. This is not the first gown of hers I've even worn. I think I've walked several runways with her pieces. She's really very talented.
Wow, incredible. You look fabulous in it, I must say.
Thank you.
So thank you. And thank you so much for making time to come to the show. So you are a nurse, a singer-songwriter, and all these other things. Like I was reading your biography, and I'm like, this woman, man. And you're really young, 1995. That's 27 years old?
26.
26.
I'll be 26 in June.
Wow. How does it feel like to have accomplished all these things in that little time, I would say?
Well, when you say it like that, it seems like I have accomplished all these things. It didn't occur to me while it was happening.
Wow.
But I guess it's kind of a blessing. Like I feel really blessed, and I hope to achieve more as the years go by.
Well, so like you're saying you didn't plan like how people do the to-do list and goals and all that?
Well, I did in the medical aspect. Like I knew that I started as a personal support worker, then I became a registered practical nurse, and I went back to school, I became a registered nurse. Like with that, I say I planned it. But when the singer-songwriter part comes in and the model part comes in, I didn't plan that. It kind of just hit me in the face.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. When did you start modeling?
At the age of 17, I started modeling.
Wow, like did you like wake up and decide I'm going to do like you dressed nice and showed up to shows?
Actually, no. It's funny. Okay, I grew up a tomboy, right? So I was never into makeup or clothes, and I knew I liked pretty things and I liked to look at fashion. I just didn't do it on myself. So I started with a love of music. So I've been in love with music for as long as I remember. I started writing songs and raps at the age of 9. And I started going to recording studio. I had a manager. And every time I'd go to a recording studio, people would say, oh, you're so tall. You should be a model. Oh, you should be a model. My manager started to think like, okay, maybe it could be a model. And then one day I just met a designer, and I was like, she's like, oh, I have a fashion show. And I'm like, oh, okay, can I join? Wow. And she goes, email me your measurements. I thought, like, whatever, long shot. Yeah. And I did. And I got casted. I was so excited.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And from that moment on, it was a runway show. So the difference between a runway and, like, photography is more people get to see you because they also take photos of the runway.
Right, yeah.
So after the show, many designers came backstage like, oh, who was that girl that walked in a second number or the first number? And that's how I just networked, and it's been 7 years.
Wow, incredible. Congratulations on that. That sounds like already, it must take so much courage also to get like, because were you used to the audience, like that many people looking at you and also the photographs and all that, like the public eye?
To be honest, I would say yes and no, in the sense that before I would go on the stage, I would be completely nervous.
Oh my God.
Very nervous. I'll have sweaty palms, but then something clicks the moment it's my turn to go and I'm on the stage, I'm walking, boom, boom, boom. I'm looking at everyone. Something just clicks and the nerves go away because I'm like, I'm here. Wow. What's the worst that's going to happen? And I used to always tell myself this. The worst that can happen is I can fall while I'm on the runway. When I fall, I can pretend like I passed out.
Right.
You know, it's less embarrassing.
You have a way
like,
out.
okay. Yeah.
You don't have to be up and explaining.
So when I always
okay.
had that in my mind. And I pray before every runway. I pray before every runway. And I'm like, God is in your hands. If this is meant to be, it's meant to be.
Right. Yeah. Oh, my God. Like, how does it feel like after the prayer? Like, is it calming?
And it does. Honestly, like, when you you deep breathe and you pray, and it's just not in your hands anymore. If I know there's nothing I can do to manipulate the situation, there's nothing I can do to change it. I'm here. I committed to doing this.
Then
The nerves just, you know.
they switch right.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like I feel already, because I've tried modeling, and like the first time I did a runway, I was like, oh my God, I freaked out. It's like, what if this falls off? What if my heels break? Like all these things in my head.
Yeah.
I never got that click. So I'm like, maybe this is not meant for me.
Oh, well, you should try my techniques.
Absolutely. I'm going
Try
to.
praying and deep
Yeah.
breathing.
Incredible. So how do you maneuver between the industry, the beauty fashion, as well as the nursing? Because some people think it's you can't have the two together.
You know, at the beginning, I felt like I couldn't. And it is tough. It takes perseverance. It takes, like, you wanting it.
Right.
So when I'm not going to work every single day of the week. And I'm not going to pick up every modeling job that I get.
Right.
So if I'm working, let's say, Monday to Thursday, then I rest on Friday. And then if there is a job on Saturday, I'll do the job on Saturday. I've refused so many jobs so many times when it clashes with my work at the hospital.
Right.
So I can't pick up every job, and I can't miss every shift at work just to model. You know, you have
Right.
to weigh your
Priorities. Yeah.
So it's sort of difficult in that sense, but then again, when you're used to your schedule, it's easier. And if
Right.
some designers choose you particularly, like I want to work with her, then in that sense, they get to work with your schedule. So
Right.
I can tell the designer, like, okay, I know you want to work with me, but just so you know, I work 10 days out of 14, and I'm only free this 4 days. If you can make it work the 4 days, great.
Correct.
If you can't, then maybe we can work another time.
Right. So you do body positivity activism. How does that work, and why did you choose that in particular?
Well, we all know that it's not far-fetched that the modeling industry pays favoritism to people with more slender bodies.
Right.
And this is not saying that it's not changing. It's trying to change slowly but surely, but it's always been like that. And that kind of mentality has basically promoted eating disorders. It has promoted low self-esteem. You know,
Absolutely.
it has also made people try to change themselves by going under the knife. This is not to look down on anyone who chooses to go under the knife. That's everyone's
Yeah,
personal,
that's
you know,
choices. Yeah.
choice. But I noticed that the love of the skinny and the slim side has made other people think they can't do it.
Right.
So people who are like, I'm not skinny anymore. I used to be skinny.
Oh my God.
But-
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah, but I'm not. I used to be skinny, but I'm not skinny anymore because the industry is changing, and I don't think we have to fit one mold in order to be able to do that.
Right.
So we're trying to sell clothes to a variety of people. So we're not trying to only sell clothes to slimmer people. So why do we only have slimmer models?
Right.
I want to see someone representing me when I'm watching a fashion show. Like, I don't want to see only one race. I
Yeah.
don't want to see only one height. I don't want to see only one size because we're not all like that in real life, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So the reason I chose that route is I wanted to make everyone feel comfortable. And I'm happy that I've put on weight because I was
You look
basically a
fabulous in
skinny
it.
model promoting body positivity, and everyone would look at me like, okay, well,
You
you're
don't know how it
skinny.
feels like,
Exactly,
why?
you wouldn't understand. So, you know, I'm putting on more weight. I'm not saying I'm intentionally putting on weight because I'm
But it works in your
But it
favor,
works,
yeah.
right? So-
Incredible, yeah. Congrats on that. It's amazing because I've met so many people who are trying to fit in, like you're saying, but they have to embrace who they are and their own beauty. And just like in that, also like heading there, you're talking about mental health awareness. How are you doing that, and how do you intend to keep sharing the word about it?
Yeah, so I fell in love with mental health because I myself experienced some mental health issues early in my life. In addition to that, in 2016, I had the opportunity to practice as a mental health nurse.
Right.
So I got to be around this population. I got to understand them. They're people just like me and you. And they're only struggling with, like, mental health illness is just like any other illness.
Right.
It's just up here. So people would only empathize with somebody who has, for example, diabetes, because it's an illness that we can see the symptoms. Like, we understand, like, you know, you need medication for that. You need to, but they don't give mental health the same kind of treatment. When in actuality, it is just it is an illness, just like any other illness.
Absolutely.
Right? It has its signs, it has its symptoms, it has its own medications. It interrupts your life just like any other disease would, right?
Yeah.
And then the stigma with having mental health,
yeah.
like, we all know that.
Makes
I don't
you
need to ring
you
the
don't
bell
have
on
to
that.
talk about it. They start
Exactly,
changing you
right?
and all that. Yeah.
Not only do they not want to talk about it, when they find out that somebody has certain things, they make certain assumptions about them.
Oh, yeah.
Some get ridiculed, laughed at. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially a big one, schizophrenia. When
Right.
people find out that someone has schizophrenia, the first thing they think is, he's violent, you know? Or I'm getting scared. He has schizophrenia. Why is he in here? Like, I'm scared, right? Or if
Right.
they find out that someone has depression, no one even ever believed in depression a number of years ago. They're like, you're sad? Just be happy. Just go outside. Just
Try this and that. Yeah.
It doesn't work like that, you know? But again, it's human to want to give advice,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
But it's also important to educate yourself before you give advice. And that's the reason I'm trying to create mental health awareness, because I get it. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants to give out advice, but are you educated?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you have to know what you're speaking about before speaking about it.
Like, are you actually giving answers, or is it just an
Yeah.
opinion?
Are you making
yeah.
them feel? Imagine being depressed and somebody telling you, like, oh, come on, just cheer up. We're outside. Just be like, and it's like, am I overreacting? Then that's even compounding to your problems more. Not only are
Oh,
you depressed,
yeah.
now you feel like a burden.
Oh, my
right?
God.
So
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna let that sink in for a moment, like honestly, because I've realized there are so many people who tell you and they're like, oh, let's go out more, then let's go do these activities, and they realize like it's an emotional thing. They need to find their
Yeah.
own timing.
yeah. And another thing people don't understand, which is a very big thing, is most of the times, like, I don't want to put a number on it, but most of the times, people that are depressed is due to a chemical imbalance in your brain.
Right.
That's the reason you take pills, medications, because they correct that, what you're deficient in, right? So how do you tell someone like that, just cheer up? I can't help it. It's my brain.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
a
my
chemical in my brain. Or it's like someone with bipolar disorder that's in a manic stage, and you're saying, just relax. You don't have to be so agitated all the time. He can't.
Because we think it's just like I'm one of those people guilty, in the sense that like we think it's like emotions, so you can control them, like how people can say I want to be happy, so they look for things to make them happy. But when you make into biology and you think that it's a chemical imbalance, then it comes more real. You're like,
So what we have to understand is sometimes it's a chemical imbalance presenting as in emotions, but it's not necessarily emotions that we have the ability to just control like that.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna laugh now because you just told a funny joke, ha ha ha. It's not that kind of in that sense of emotions, you know.
Right. Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much for that information. I think I feel like I'm ready to graduate in nursing classes right now. Am I qualified yet? No. A little bit. Okay.
2 more minutes.
Oh my God. Okay. I'll hold on. I'll hold on to a few minutes. And then you told me as we were chatting earlier, like you had your operation recently.
Yeah.
What was it about? Maybe just for the viewers, and then I'll ask a few more questions.
Well, I've been battling with a plethora of illnesses, but if we're just focusing on the recent
Whatever you
surgery I
feel
had,
comfortable sharing.
it was I had internal bleeding. So a lot of women deal with this PCOS, and it's now that everyone is really starting to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
So PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, and this is when your body either produces your cysts around your ovaries produce cysts, or your body mimics symptoms like you're producing cysts.
Wow.
So sometimes, it's called a syndrome, a polycystic ovarian syndrome, because sometimes you may not have the cysts, or sometimes they may disappear so quickly the doctor cannot catch it, and then sometimes you actually have the cysts.
Right.
So there are different kind of signs and symptoms you get. It ranges from acne. So a lot of people, that's why this is just for the viewers. Do not tell people online, this is how you treat your acne. Stop wearing less makeup. Wash your face. Those are great tips, but sometimes it's hormonal, and there's nothing you can do about it. So for someone who has PCOS, they can have lots of acne, can't get rid of it because it's hormonal. So that's just one of the light, I shouldn't even call it a lighter symptom, but it's not a life-threatening symptom,
Yeah.
but it's
still part of
damaging
your body,
someone's
yeah.
self-esteem, right? And then you can go to having abdominal pain, rectal pain,
Right.
you can have bleeding down there, you can have, I don't know if I can say anything that's not PG-13.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
But there's a
like,
bunch of pain and like discomfort that comes with having this
but it's
problem.
curable, right?
It's,
A little bit?
well, it's manageable. I haven't come across any cure yet.
Okay.
So what happened to me was I had developed a cyst, a really massive cyst apparently, and it exploded inside.
Oh my God.
And like you know, I've been living with cancer since 2019. So my cancer causes a bleeding disorder.
Right.
So for me, when something like that explodes, I bleed more than the average person. So I developed something called hemorrhagic ositis, which is just blood in your stomach. So I literally looked like I was pregnant, but my entire abdomen was filled with blood. And so the surgery I had was to drain the blood.
How are you
And
feeling now?
I feel good. I just had another episode like, 4 weeks ago, but I feel good. You know, I only feel down when the episode happens. But after the fact, it's almost like I'm brand new again.
Because like even like everything that you say, the whole reason, like not even the whole reason why I invited you over was like because I've been looking, like I've been meaning to see you so often, but then the whole pandemic happened and everything. But even like for the people, for the viewers who are following us on Go Live TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, I've met you several times and like I've talked to you. You are just this ambitious person and like you are so humble. You don't even say they have accomplished these things, but you're motivated. And when you talk about the things that happen to you, the things that you go through in your life, like I feel like it's a whole different person because no one will really suspect that. It's like, how do you just gather the courage to do it like every day, to show up? And like it took you like an hour to get to the studio where we're recording right now, I think. And you made that effort and you've been like, you haven't had a night in two days, you haven't slept because you're being a nurse. It's like all these things and you still show up for people. How are you like?
I would say it's cliche, but it really is God and family. It really is, because I've had some dark times.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and act like it's all been rainbows and skittles for my entire life. Like I told you earlier, I've battled with my own mental health issues. I've battled with depression since I was 14 years old, depression and anxiety. So I've had really dark moments, especially when I get hospitalized so like frequently because of this cancer. So I've had really dark moments, and my family and friends support me, and I always turn to God. When I pray, when I talk to him, I feel better. I know, you know what, it's going to be better tomorrow. And I believe that God doesn't give you more than you can handle. So I must be pretty strong if I'm able to handle all of this, is how I see it. And I'm like, okay, I survived today, I'd probably survive tomorrow.
Wow.
And I just take it one day at a time.
I must say you're doing amazing, and I'm so more than grateful to God that he gets to, because every time I am down, like I look upon the people in my life and how they are impacting me, because I know I check up on them like, hey, and that's it. But I'm like, JoJoHh is the most amazing person that I've met, like, honestly. Because people have reasons to be mean. People have reasons to be terrible to other people. And they're like, and also when like you don't feel that great within you, it's easy to dismiss others people's feelings. But you're the most caring person that I've seen. So when that's again you being humble. But yeah, when you talk about all these things and the person you are, it makes me want to ask, how does it feel to still give your time to others? And do you decide on that, or does it just like, come freely to you?
You know what? I don't even think about it. So I don't know if it's something I decide or something that comes to me. I don't even realize I'm giving others my time. In my mind, I'm living. But then again, I was speaking to my friend the other day. I said, life is short. You never know when your interaction with somebody might be your last interaction with that person. So I always try to live it to the fullest, like today was going to be my last. So if I meet you, I don't want, knock on wood, imagine if a situation where you meet person B and you're extremely mean to person B, even though you know person B for 5 years. And then you're mean this one occasion. Person B gets in a car accident in an hour and dies. And that's your last memory of that person. That was the last thing you said to that person. I couldn't live with myself. And I don't want that I don't want that to be the last thing that person heard either. That's mean. There is no reason being mean. I know bullies. I've been bullied, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like the taste of mean in my mouth. So I don't feel the need to want to be a mean girl to someone. Like, I don't know how to better put this in other words, but
No, you're saying it perfectly.
yeah, but it's, like, life is short. Be nice.
Yeah,
I
it's
always
because
say
it will
this,
be better.
Drink some tea, feed some birds, do something happy. Life is short, you know?
It's true. I feel like it would be beautiful. It would be a beautiful world if we were all able to do that, to treat everybody as if it was the last moment, because the excuse of tomorrow makes us do the worst in life. Because it's like, oh, I'll fix it tomorrow, or
You know
I'll do
what?
better.
It's easier said than done. Because I can't sit here and say every time I meet people, I'm always like, oh, hi, I'm JoJoh. Like, it's nice. Like, I get angry sometimes, you know?
Right.
I get irritated sometimes. But when you're angry and when you're irritated, you have to know how to express that without being mean, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to it's knowing yourself, knowing how to express yourself, and not going too far, you know? It goes a long way.
Yeah.
So you might irritate me, but I don't have to call you names. I can just tell you irritated me, you know? You
Yeah.
don't have to
Oh
be
my
mean.
God.
Like, yeah, you irritated me. What are we going to do about it? Let's talk about it, you know?
Right, a communication
adults.
skill all the
Exactly.
time.
We're
Amazing.
in control of our emotions in that sense. So
Was there a moment where they told you like how long you were going to live for?
yeah, well, according to research, people with my kind of cancer only have about 15 years lifespan to live. But the problem is, I got diagnosed in 2019. Before then, I didn't have any blood work for 2 years because for some reason I just refused to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So they don't know when it started for me. And I'm the first person in Canada to have this type of cancer at my age. It usually affects adults from age 50 and older. I got diagnosed at 23. So I'm currently in a research study. They were so surprised that I had this kind of cancer at my age. So with people 50 and older, they have about 15 years to live. I don't know if that's going to apply to me just because mine is different. It happened at age 23. So I got scared when I heard the
Can
15
imagine.
years, and I spiraled. Like, it was like I could tell everyone who was ready to listen, like, listen, I'm dying in 15 years. Like, they told me I'm dying in 15 years. It was like, no, don't see like that, don't see like that. And I was like, you know what? Even if I am dying in 15 years, I'm gonna live. Like, what's the point of being miserable for 15 years
True.
just to die, right? So
Just because you're waiting on it. Would
Yeah,
you
it has to
say
be
anything
positive.
changed though? Like, would you say anything changed, like, before you knew all that information? I would say, like, yes, of course, how you felt or how you view life, but your understanding of life in itself, would you say something you would change?
it changed twice. First time it changed, I became hopeless. I had the worst existential crisis. I was like, what's the point of life? Are we just here to come and go to school, work, and then die? And I was so depressed. I didn't want to go out. I quit my job. I was staying in the house. I didn't want to go anywhere. That's when I lost like the worst weight of my life. I was 40 pounds lighter than this.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yep, this is it. This is what I get, you know? And then I was battling with my faith at some point. And then later on, I just, from the support of my family, for support of my friends, and me supplicating and basically talking to God, it was a complete 180 for me.
Wow.
Because then I started to value life like, okay, let's say you do have a short time on earth. Why don't you use it to do something more positive, right? So I went back to school. I became a registered nurse because I was a registered practical nurse at first. So I went back to school. I started modeling again. I started eating right. I started working out. I started having friends around, and I became brighter.
Oh my God. Yeah, and you
Basically.
become fabulous. So.
Thanks.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
What advice or what would you say to your younger self, like to the 14-year-old you, if you were to talk to her right now?
My 14-year-old self, I would tell her, there's nothing wrong with you. Speak up. You know, if you feel something, tell someone. Because my depression and anxiety and OCD started from when I was 14. And I grew up in Nigeria. I left at 14, but I grew up in Nigeria. So mental health was not something that we really cared about in Nigeria.
Right.
It was one situation where they'll say, what are you talking about? You're a kid, or just smile, like go do something, go play, right? So I was afraid to tell anyone. And even if I did, they wouldn't care anyways, right?
Yeah.
So I'll definitely tell my 14-year-old self to speak up. And I will make sure to remind myself to always go to for my annual physical at the doctor's. So maybe we could have caught the cancer earlier, right? But yeah, definitely. That's what I'll tell myself.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
And right now, what is the best advice to self?
To myself, keep living.
Right.
Like, draw closer to God. Make him your best friend. That's what I'm going to tell myself. Because right now, I feel like I'm in a very comfortable place, right? I'm not rich, but I'm not struggling, right?
Yeah.
I'm not healthy, but I'm not dying. So it's like I am in a comfortable place. So I just want to live every day like it's my last, respectfully. No, so
We put that as a hashtag,
respectfully. I'm trying to live every day to the fullest, you know.
Wow, amazing. I must say, JoJoHh, you are an incredible woman. I, for one, am so honored and so pleased to have you in my life. Thank you so much once again for making time to be with us and for your incredible knowledge and understanding that you shared with us. It's an amazing honor. And I must say, with everyone that have had the honor to be in the same room with you at the same time, they are as grateful as I am. And you literally are bright, shining, and it's incredible. It's motivating in itself. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you. So thank you so much. Maybe you can, if you have any last message, you can share anything you like.
Well, keep being you and love yourself, and check out my Instagram because I'm going to be posting more things about mental health awareness and about body positivity. And just love yourself and don't let anyone make you feel like you're less than you are. You're beautiful in your eyes, my eyes, and God's eyes.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Maybe, do you want to get up and show off your dress? Yeah? Let's see. Like, oh my God. If we can zoom in on the camera, look at how fabulous she looks. Oh my goodness.
This is a sheer couture. SHIRU couture.
You look amazing. You look incredible. And your hair is on point. Everything. This is you modeling on your time.
RU and couture. She's incredible.
You look amazing.
And she's fast.
There you go, guys. Thank you so much once again for being with us. We'll be back in a moment and stay with us.